Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final tier list for Season 1 of Gekishin Squadra. A lot has changed since the beginning of the game. A few characters have been buffed, one has gotten nerfed, and let's see what has happened so far. First up, we have Super Saiyan Goku. He's one of the few characters that have gotten a nerf in Season 1. A lot of people have had complaints about this character. He's pretty much the go-to for solo queue for having a strong team, boss secure, etc., etc. And with the recent nerfs, that hasn't really changed. He's still a powerful character. He still does a ton of damage. They didn't really nerf his Spirit Bomb at all, so he still does really good boss secure. And with time, people have just gotten better with him, honestly. Sure, you can do bad with a character, but you can do bad with any character. Super Saiyan Son Goku, I'm going to leave in the Z tier. I didn't really mess with the tier list right here. I just used whatever they left here. Z is going to be the best, D is the worst. You already know. So Piccolo, he also received buffs at the beginning of, I don't remember when, but they buffed his light grenade damage at some point and reduced the cooldown of his special beam cannon. That was a while ago. Piccolo is a pretty solid character, but he has a weakness where if he gets jumped, there's not much he can do. It's really easy to jump him if you're playing characters like Caulifla, Cooler. I've even jumped it with characters like Gotenks. He is very fragile. You have to pretty much build a team around him. Sure, he has the Demon Whip, but that's not really enough to protect him overall. You really need to build a team around Piccolo for him to work. But when he does work, he's pretty strong. Light Grenade does a ton of damage. Special Beam Cannon is an amazing ability. It can pretty much take out bosses from like 50%, maybe 60%, 70%, depending on how strong or fat he is, what low he is, etc. So for now, I'm going to put Piccolo in the A tier. I believe he's a solid damage character. When you play him solo, it's going to be a bit rough. However, if you play him with a team, it could work out a bit more. So next we have Frieza. Frieza, one that he also received buffs at the start of Season 1. He got a buff to Zarbon. Dora, he pretty much got a buff across the board. And he was the way that I reach S on technical. In solo queue, he's an amazing character. Many people don't really respect Frieza's boss clear. Once you reach higher ranks, you always notice if there's a Frieza, and if there is, you just destroy Zarbon. That's like his major weakness. If you destroy his summons, he can't really do much. However, he still is very good at backdoor and slash ratting. And he does a ton of damage. When Frieza's in the game, you always have to look out for him. And for that, I'm going to put him in. I'm going to put him in A tier for now. He's like a solid character, even in higher ranks. He's still a problem. People still need to play around Frieza no matter what. Him just existing in the game is a huge thing to worry about. And that's why I'll keep him in A tier. Now, Baby Young Body. He has good abilities. His skill 1 is pretty much get off me. It's pretty decent at security and stuff. Skill 2 is pretty funky, but it reduces the cooldown of his skill 3, which is like his bread and butter ability. His ultimate is okay. In solo queue, I think Baby is like pretty much the worst tank. And even in team play, I just don't think Baby does that much. Like, his healing is not fantastic. When paired with like the Gokus and like Kale, or even Gamma, like, he's pretty solid. But like in solo queue, he's not very good. He's too much of a gamble to run solo. So for that, I'm going to put him in D tier, at least in the solo queue tier list. In team play, he might go up to like C, but solo is definitely D. Zamasu received a small buff to his passive. It went from 15 seconds to 20 seconds, which should technically help his early to mid game. The problem with Zamasu is like, once he reaches level 8 and 9, he pretty much plateaus because he doesn't get really stronger with his skill 2. His skill 2 doesn't really do damage, and the utility from it isn't that amazing. His ultimate's really good at when maxed out, but it doesn't change the fact that like he is like an okay tank. His skill 1 slow is pretty solid, and the damage you have from skill 3 is amazing. In Superstar, he's a pretty solid character. He has like really oppressive early game with his skill 3, and the utility from skill 1 is pretty decent. However, again, he just plateaus once he reaches level 8, and every other tank outshadows him pretty much. I would say even like Baby could outshadow him because of Baby's utility. But even then, I feel that Zamasu is better when playing solo. So for now, I'm going to put Zamasu as a C tier tank. I do enjoy playing Zamasu. I feel like this character can work, but like, he's not really that much of a carry character. He does put a lot of pressure by like having like a ton of sustain in lane. But once the game keeps like going, if it doesn't end early enough, he pretty much drops off pretty heavily. Now, Oob is a character that I slept on. Many people don't really play this character that well, and I can see why. He's kind of technical. He has like a lot of movement. You have to like manage his passive stacks, and his skill 2. It doesn't feel like that important most of the time. However, his ultimate's pretty solid. He does good damage, and he like pretty much scales into late game. He's a pretty good character here. He can have like 3, 4, 5 dashes, which is really solid. He has a ton of movement, just good damage. He's like one of the few characters that actually focus on auto attacking in the game, and I feel that he's pretty strong. I would definitely put him in the A tier. I would put him above Piccolo. The thing is, like, in solo queue, I feel like Piccolo is stronger than him. But I feel like Oob, like, they're pretty much interchangeable. I personally feel that Oob is better than Piccolo, but Piccolo is more dangerous because, like, boss secure is so important. Like, you cannot leave Piccolo alone, but you also can't leave Oob alone. Like Oob is like overall better. It's just like bosses are so important, which is why Piccolo is like so high. Now Krillin, I enjoy Krillin a lot. I think he's like a solid technical character. But the thing is with Krillin is, honestly, Solar Flare is not that good of an ability most of the time. I actually just don't put any points into it until like level 10. His skill 3 is solid. It has like a low cooldown. His AoE pretty much blind. His skill 1 is also a blind and does good damage. However, because you can just like use abilities to destroy his mines, you have to be wary of their placement. And because there's so much AoE explosion damage in the game, it doesn't really do much in general. You have to use them to like protect towers or cut off pathways. You can use them like farm and like farm bosses. His ultimate is pretty solid. And I do think Krillin is a good character overall. Like the utility of blinds is really powerful. Like it can counter characters like Topo's counter and even Kale's ultimate. However, you could also just counter Kale's ultimate by like nuking her. So even though I do like Krillin, I'm just going to put him in B tier for now. I do feel that the blinds are very solid, especially for like counter pick. And his skill 3, like such a low cooldown, is very useful. But compared to the other technicals, he just doesn't really do that much. Now Deborah, I actually did like a Deborah challenge, trying to get MVP with him. And Deborah, I feel like he's a okay character. It's just like currently in the meta that we have with how strong like Piccolo, all the Gokus are, he just doesn't do that much. He actually has like a ton of health. And against any other character, like the melee characters, the tanks, he's pretty solid. And he's like one of the only characters in the game that can pretty much catch a Frieza, because he can use his spear, and if you have backstab, then you can hit them with spear again, and then you just run down Frieza and they can't do anything about it. But overall, Deborah's not that strong a character. Like the Petrify is good, but if someone like uses their ultimate when they're about to be petrified, they are pretty much like immune to petrification, and Deborah is stuck in the spit animation, so he pretty much CCs himself. So for all that, I'm going to put Deborah in C tier. I don't think he's like one of the worst characters in the world. Like C is not like terrible. It's just like they're kind of like underwhelming. Like they have their strengths, but they could be better. Now looking at Majin Buu got some huge buffs in health and damage for skill 1. Majin Buu shot up in the ranks for technicals. He used to be considered the worst technical since they were so squishy, and is now one of the best. Arguably top 3 by some. I would definitely put Buu in the A tier for now. Their healing is pretty solid. It doesn't really scale that much. However, I do think that the boost from skill 1 is pretty good, and the overall tankiness that they have really did change things. Also, the healing range buff was massive. Next we have Vegeta. A lot of people have come to realize how solid character Vegeta is when built correctly and played correctly. They're pretty much a monster, and it's really easy to misplay against Vegeta. You could get him low, and then like if he has like a few people surrounding him, he gained a ton of armor back, pretty much his health. And he does pretty good damage if you build the 2 red cards, the one that looks like Janemba and Pursuer. So for that, I'm going to put Vegeta in A tier for now. Maybe he could be seen as S tier, but I'm going to put him in A tier for now. Like, he's a really solid tank, and I do feel like he's a top 3 tank. It's just you have to like compare it to the other ones on the list. He needs to actually be played well. Android 18. Android 18 is still a solid pick. Does pretty good damage. Burst damage. Her ultimate hurts a ton. The thing with Android 18 is she's pretty much like an assassin. Just does a ton of burst damage, and the thing is you could vanish step her ultimate. But if you don't vanish step the ultimate, she can pretty much like one-shot you if you have like full stacks, and even if you're like a tank. She's a pretty solid character, and I would put her in A tier for now. The only downside to her is like she pretty much loses to like solid barriers, so like you would have to like poke it, like with Destructive Disc or something. But yeah, she's pretty good. Next we have Caulifla, Super Saiyan 2 Caulifla, one of the best tanks in the game. Her passive is just absurd. I didn't realize how absurd it was. Like, I know it reduces damage and she can do more damage to people, but the taunt is just silly. Like, she can actually redirect her metallic, so she's able to redirect helpers, which is quite absurd. You could build her full tank, you could build her full damage. She actually could carry you in a solo queue, and she's pretty good in team play. She works well with Superstar. She can do stuff in EXL Junior. She's a really good character. I'm going to definitely put her in. I'm gonna put her in S tier for now. Like, she's definitely a top 3 tank, but I wouldn't put her in D tier. It's not like she can like solo carry games. Cooler is also absurd. He does a ton of damage, has iframes, a really good ultimate for a tank, and in general. This character is just absurd. He has an ability that stops vanish steps and this movement abilities. He can grab you out of your abilities, slows, has a really low cooldown, his skill 1. I would put him next to Caulifla. You could arguably say that, like, I've seen really good coolers and I've seen really good Cauliflas. Overall, Caulifla is a better character. The cooler is like such a menace. He can legit carry games solo. Next up, we have Full Power Bojack. Now, I do really like Bojack. I think he's a really fun character with untapped potential. The problem is that all his abilities have like too much windup. His skill 1 isn't good until like it has 3 points in it. It just doesn't do that much damage, even though it's Superstar and Super Boost skill 1. His skill 2, the mines, are his like main damage, and like, again, they're not very good until like level 3. But at least like on Superstar, they're a good ability to use. His skill 3, the slow field, it's pretty solid once you have like 2 points in it. However, it just doesn't slow that much, and when it's out, your passive doesn't work. Like, your little squad mates don't do it. They don't get summoned until the slow circle is gone. And the ultimate is actually like the worst ability in the game. You should actually just not put any points into his ultimate until like level 10. Like, you do not need his main abilities are so much better than his ultimate. You only put points into his ultimate when it's like Superstar, because you have the free points to do so. So the thing with Bojack, I'm going to put him in C tier. I used to consider him like better than Deborah, and like the thing is, like, he can definitely scale better than Deborah. It's like really iffy. Like Bojack has like such a weak early game. Like if you just jump him, he can't really do much. He just loses on like so many divine draws. If it's EXL Junior, don't pick him. If it's Superstar, you could pick him. But if it's like Superstar Skill Boost 1, don't pick him. Like he has such a weak Skill 1, even when it's like boosted to the maximum, it just does no damage and it comes out way too slow. He's like an okay character. Again, his main problem is like everything he does comes out way too slow. But he does do a ton of damage, especially once he transforms. Like once you reach level 8 or 9, he pretty much comes online. But that's like a really long time, and I mean he's like solid. I would say he's solid. It's just compared to like if you're just like fighting Goku's all day, like he definitely falls off. You cannot really solo carry most of the time with Bojack. Like in a team or like high level play, if like everyone's like really solid, maybe you could do well because like you could play around him. But yeah, it's like really tough, and it sucks because I really do like playing Bojack. I really like his like play style. I like the way their moves synergize together, but he's not. He needs buffs. Next we have Son Gohan. Son Gohan, definitely one of the best technicals in the game. He's just absurd. His passive makes him tanky, makes your ally do damage. He pretty much makes every damage character really good. He has a stun / silence on his skill 2. His skill 3 is also absurd. It's just like so strong. Masenko is like whatever, but at least it does damage. And his ultimate is another stun and it boosts his attack damage. He's such a silly character. He's definitely like the best technical in the game. Now personally, I don't really play him that much because like when you're playing solo, you still might need to like protect people, but if you know how to play him, you could pretty much just like rat. You could rat / backdoor. You could make tons of plays with him. Like he's such a solid character. Definitely deserves like a top spot for technicals. And let's see, we have Trunks. Trunks is pretty alright. I would put Trunks in B tier for now. The thing is, if Trunks gets behind, then like he pretty much like can't do much at all. He's pretty good because he has that one stab skill that's very good at securing bosses. Well, not bosses, but you can secure bosses with it. You can secure Kais, secure EXL Juniors. So in that notion, he's pretty good. And if you play him with a solid technical, then he is pretty good. And he has good cleanup potential. So, actually, I'll just put him in A tier. I think he's not that bad. It's just like, you have to know how to play him. And you have to play with like a solid team for him to work out. But he's pretty alright. Son Goku Mini. Now this is a character that many people slept on, myself included, and I didn't sleep on him as much as everyone else. He received some buffs on his rush attack, and the thing is, like, he just does a ton of damage. I would say this character is like absurdly strong. His skill 1, the Pansy Bomb, just the damage over time just lasts way too long, in my opinion. It does a ton of damage. His skill 3 negates a very good damage. His skill 2 helps make his Pansy Bomb do more, like, just absurd amounts of damage. And his ultimate is pretty solid. You could use it to secure, but it's not really the best for that, but you can do it. And it uses new teams with him. Plus, if you build backstab on him, you just like could keep throwing Pansy Bomb over and over and over. He's a very good character. I would consider him like top 3, top 4 in DPS. So for now, I'm going to put him in S tier. I think he's like absurdly strong, and he could definitely carry games with Goku Mini. Now, Cell Perfect Form. This is a character I do feel people do sleep on. Yeah, his early game is absurdly weak, and in higher ranked play, you can abuse that fact by just pushing him and like starving him a farm and stuff like that. But if you know how to utilize regeneration with like tanks and like you get to perfect form earlier, then he is a very strong character. His ultimate can help you secure bosses, and once he's in perfect form, he just becomes so absurd. He can basically just like stun loop people over and over. He gets a ton of assists, he gets a ton of kills. He's a very strong character. It's just he has such a weak early game. And for that, I'm going to put him in I'll put him in A tier for now. I think he's a very solid character. Yeah, Android 17. I do like Android 17. I like his kit. I just feel that everything he does is kind of like lackluster. Like his shields are strong. However, I just feel like they last too little. And his ultimate, it just doesn't do enough damage. And it also doesn't last that long at all. His skill 1's amazing, and his skill 2 is pretty cool. Like it's like a long range stun, but like it's the skill that you level last, so it's not like you don't really get to use its full potential most of the time. I do think overall he's like a good character, and he's very good at ratting too, / backdooring. It's just the problem is like everything he does is not strong enough to me. I would say like he's pretty much like with Krillin, or at least like he's like one of the weaker technicals. Like I don't think like he's a terrible character. It's just he's a bit underwhelming to me. I wish everything he did like was just a little better. I guess they were going for like a jack of all trades, but like master of none type thing, and because they did that, like he's just not very amazing at anything in particular. Also because like he's pretty much like a utility type character. He's very team reliant, and like when you're playing solo, that's not like a good look, at least not for me personally. Now Hit is an absurd character. I'll keep saying it. He just warps the game by just existing. The whole like one of the many reasons like everyone runs Shu like 95% of the time is because Hit. You need Shu to counter Hit. And once this character's in the game, you just cannot leave your towers alone ever. If you utilize the bushes and or clouds and stuff like that, he just can do so much damage. Like he's such an absurd character. He has like very little counters. Like sure you can hit him with like AoE damage, but first you have to like actually like know where he went to do it. And he, for a technical, he actually does like a ton of damage to tanks. Like you cannot be by yourself against Hit. Like he can like bully Vegeta, he could bully Zamasu, like he can just bully any tank in the game if he wants to. And for that, I'm going to put him in S tier for now. He's one of the best characters in the game. You can carry games with him if you get really good with him. Just don't like hard focus on like backdoor / ratting. He can do so much more than that. He pretty much is like a walking ward. Once his skill 3 is maxed out, like you have like infinite invisibility. You have like infinite pressure. He's such a silly character. Really good, and actually does a ton of damage late game. Now the Gammas 1 and 2, they received huge buffs recently. Skill 1, the dashing kicking thing, does way more damage, like an absurd amount of damage early game, and even more when it's maxed out. It also comes out a lot smoother, which was a huge problem that the Gammas had. Before, like, his skill 1 was similar to Android 18's, but like it just came out way too slow and like had a ton of recovery / end lag at the end of it. So like even if you did it, like people would just be able to catch up to you because like he would just like do this little pose and you wouldn't be able to do anything. You pretty much like stun yourself at the end of your skill 3, and he still has that, but it's not as bad as it used to be. Their skill 2 went down from 7 seconds to 5 seconds, so that's really great. In early game, you gain way more health from it. And overall, I feel that the Gamma shot up a ton. I'm going to put them in A tier. I may have had them in A tier before, but like they're like such a solid character. I'm definitely going to put them in the higher end of A tier. And I think they're like a really good character. I feel like they're getting a lot of shine right now, but they're also slept on. I feel like a lot of people should like look around like comboing with characters, but that's something I could talk about like another time. Super Saiyan Kale. Kale's still like such an absurd character. I'm definitely gonna say she's like a top 3 damage character. Her skill 1 is just so good, even early. Like it just does too much damage. You can secure Kai, you can secure bosses, you can secure the XL Juniors, you can secure everything she wants just with her skill 3 to skill 1 combo, and then her skill 2 is good at like the securing kills, like for poke, and if there's someone run away with a low HP. Your ultimate is alright, like it's really dangerous if you're not ready to deal with it. But people are learning that if she also just to melt her down. But if you already use all your abilities, and she's pretty dangerous. I'm definitely gonna put her in S tier. She's definitely a top 3 DPS. Now, Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku is a character that had a lot of controversy and still does. His skill 1 is just so absurdly strong, especially if you start with Super Start. Like, compared to other moves, this move does not scale properly, in my opinion. Like, it just has so much damage front loaded into it just by like putting 3 points into it. And if the game goes on, like he just gets like snowball stacks and more damage, he could pretty much 100 0 you, depending on which character you are. Like if you're playing like if you're playing against Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku and you don't run Cell Out Barrier, you're pretty much throwing. Like the second this character's in the game, he can 100 0 you if you're not like a tank. Like he applies so much pressure on the map. In solo queue, he can definitely carry, but in like team play, I would say he's like mandatory. He's like such a strong character. He has good range. IT has like a really short cooldown. Like when you teleport to an enemy, it's cut in half, so it's like 15 seconds. Like it's not really anything, bro. Like you can IT like in the middle of a fight just to do like a full charge command now. Like if someone like walks away from you, just do it and like nuke them. And if you have map awareness, he's like a really strong character. I'm gonna put him in Z tier. I definitely feel like this character is like absurdly good. Alright, now we have the other 2 DLC characters. We have Super Saiyan Gotenks. Super Saiyan Gotenks, I didn't really come out with a tier list when he came out, but I've been playing him a lot. And after playing him, I would say that he's like really, really strong character. Like When he first came out, everyone was focusing on like Galactic Donut, and they thought like Galactic Donut was like it's gonna be like an absurd skill. But honestly, when I saw that ability, I knew it wasn't gonna be that great. They always show out the max version of an ability, and you can see how slow it is. And lo and behold, it was a slow ability. When you have like 1 point in it, it's like negligible. 2 points, it's like okay, but it's still too slow. And even with 3 points, like at 3 points, alright, you could do something with it, but you could pretty much ignore Galactic Donut. What you want to do with Gotenks is you want to level his skill 3 and skill 1 around level 8. If you don't use a point in Galactic Donut, you could max level skill 3 his Ghost and skill 1 his Hyper combo and have them both maxed out at level 8. And he's like a really strong character. I also feel that Gotenks is a character warping in the fact that like he forces you to think about your vanish step. Like that's a mechanic that everyone takes for granted. You pretty much use it as like a Gale Jail free card. You're like, oh well, I'm in a bad spot, let me just vanish step and then like just walk away. However, if you vanish step against Gotenks and he hasn't used his skill 1, the hyper combo, then you pretty much get stunned for free. You need to save your vanish step for when he does his hyper combo so that you can get out of it. Off his abilities, besides his Ghost, pretty much like punish you for vanish stepping early. If you vanish step too early, then you get stunned. You could get hit by the Galactic Donut actually. You could get hit by his ultimate. Like you could vanish step out of his ultimate, but yeah. He's just an absurdly good character. He does a ton of damage. He scales really well with damage cards, so like if you run Snowball on him, he's good. But like even Pursuer and Giant Slayer are really good on him. Like you could build him full red, and like it doesn't change the fact that like he still has really strong CC. And he's actually a pretty good counter against hit. So in that regards, I'm going to put him in S tier. I feel like he's a very, very strong tactical that people are learning is actually a problem in general. And I do think that he deserves to be in the higher ranks. Now finally we have God Destruction Topo. Topo is another melee character. And well, let's go over his kit. His skill 1 just is like a projectile that applies his passive pretty much. His skill 2 is like a spin to win whirlwind attack where he marks people with his God Destruction passive, and it does damage. And his skill 3 is a counter move where if he takes damage and he'll hit you with like a ton of damage. And he also gains energy resistance. And his ultimate is pretty much like Spirit Bomb. But if you have God Destruction stacks on you, then you take more damage, and the max destruction stacks are 4. Even if you have like 1 to 2, you're going to take like a ton of damage. He's pretty good at clearing bosses, and he is pretty good against like tanks, and so he's pretty decent in bot lane. My problem with God Destruction Topo is like it feels like a ton of his potential is in like his skill 3, and you can counter his skill 3 in so many ways. If you blind him, then it does nothing. If you're out of his range, it does nothing. If you go into a bush or a cloud, like if he loses vision of you in general, it does nothing. And if you stun him, it does nothing. And there's a lot of stuns in the game. Super Saiyan Goku's skill 2 Kaioken boosted stuns or staggers. Son Gohan staggers. Cooler's skill 3 should be able to drag him out of it. Hit skill 2 stuns. Gotenks skill 1's done. There's just so many abilities that just like stops him. And they're like really popular character picks too. And just like Deborah, if you don't build him tanky, then like you're just gonna melt. However, you do build damage on him, that he does do a ton of damage. And one positive that Topo does have that is if you use your skill 2 and they have an enemy hit, then his hits vanish range pretty much is the same range as Topo's from what I've been told. And even then, you'll be able to hit him with the dot, so he'll like reappear to what I've been told. Topo, I feel like is an okay character. It's so weird because like I think Deborah's utility is like better than Topo's, but Topo like actually does like pretty good damage overall. For now, I'm gonna put Topo in B tier. He's like an okay character. It's like the problem is like there's just too many stuns in the game, and like his skill 3 just doesn't do that much. And he's a melee character. His passive works by like it gets refreshed by auto attacks, and again he's melee, so that's tough to say. So when we look at this list, I would definitely say that. Let's see. Goku and Super Saiyan 3 are up here. I would say that Super Saiyan 3 may be like the best character in the game with teams, but solo, I'm definitely going to say Goku should be the best. Arguably Kale could be up there. Yeah, let's put Kale. I'm going to leave Kale in S tier. Like, I think Kale's like really good. It's just that she's a lot more vulnerable than the other two. Like Son Goku, Super Saiyan has like a ton of mobility, and so does Super Saiyan 3. Like Super Saiyan 3 can IT out for free, so he has like a ton of safety in that manner. Son Gohan's definitely the best technical in the game. He can definitely carry games like easily solo. Caulifla, Cooler, they're pretty much interchangeable. Kale's top tier. I do feel that Gotenks overall should be better than Hit, but like Hit just applies so much pressure overall that like he's like probably better, but Gotenks isn't that far behind. Son Goku, Mini. I definitely feel that this character is like absurdly strong. Like the Pansy Bomb is just way too much damage, and he definitely deserves to be up here. Oob, yeah, Oob. I would say is better than Piccolo, but Piccolo is like it's easier to do better with Piccolo. I just feel like Oob is better. Frieza above Boo. Like these dudes are pretty much interchangeable. I feel like Boo overall should be better, and because like the thing is like once you counter Frieza and like you just keep him in mind, he like loses a ton of power. But Frieza's still a solid character. Vegeta's really good. Vegeta's really good. I would put him at the top of A tier. 18's alright. Trunks, I would say Trunks is actually better than 18. Like, Trunks has the potential to be better. Gammas. Cell is alright. I would say Cell is less than Trunks, but still better than 18. Gammas like are so strong. I would say Gamma's like maybe below Frieza. Like the thing is, like I feel like Gammas, they're a lot more versatile than Piccolo, but Piccolo is like again the boss secure is like so absurdly good, and like if you play against a good Piccolo, then like you just like have such a bad time. But gammas overall are just like so absurd, dude. They just do so much damage. They have like good sustain. They have a good ult. But like when you have a gamma in the game, it's not as dangerous like having a Frieza or Boo. So makes sense. The B tier makes sense to me. You could say that 17 is better than Krillin. I just prefer Krillin's blind utility. I feel like he's just more solid solo versus Android 17. Topo is okay, like he could stay at the bottom. For C tier, Zamasu's definitely better than these two. Like he's the weakest tank, but like you don't like maybe people could groan after over seeing the Zamasu, but like Zamasu's like kind of solid. It's just like the problem is like he just plateaus. You see a Bojack, you definitely are gonna like have a hard time. It doesn't matter if the Bojack's good, you just have a hard time. Same with the Bora. I would actually say like the Bora could have an easier time than Bojack. At least he has like a decent early game, and once you get backstabbed, the Bora is like a menace. Baby, I'm still keeping Baby in the low tier and D tier. Like solo, it's like it's a miracle if you do well with Baby. It's just so tough. And a team, like he could do really well. And then like Superstar, like he's absurd. Like, but like overall, he's whatever. So yeah, this is my overall tier list for season 1, the end of season 1. Tell me what you guys think. Let me know if you agree or disagree with anything. Maybe I left something out. Maybe I forgot something. Let me know in the comments below. And thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Y'all have a good day and take care. Peace.